Hey everybody, welcome back. Another video here for Banish the Doubt. I am, as always, in this avatar suit. I identify as George McNamara, and I absolutely bow to the light that is inside of you. A friend of mine, Rupert Spira, he said the the way the world appears to you and I, the way the world appears to us is directly correlated to our sense perception or sense perceptions. That is how we see, smell, taste, hear, and touch our senses. You see, our brains are encased in darkness. And based on how we perceive the outside world, that information is brought back to our brain. And then the brain creates complementary chemicals based on our thoughts. And these chemicals then are sent throughout our bloodstream, which has the same type of fractal structure to it, as does trees, as does lightning. The same fractal structure within our bloodstream is the same you will find in the internet, in a fern leaf, in broccoli. So this is why I say things such as, I bow to the light that is inside of you, and that I am in this, who I truly am and who you truly are, is inside of this avatar suit. You see, you and I, we create what we call reality. You and I are creators. We create our reality. What we perceive as our reality, what we perceive. How you view the world through these perceptions is filtered through your belief and who you believe you are. See, it's your belief and your definitions, as Bashar has said. It is ultimately, what beliefs must you have about your self-worth, your deservability? How are you deserving? What are you deserving of? What are you worthy of? You see, because you and I and these people, or I should say these people, but people on the planet, there is nothing different with the person who has accumulated multiple homes throughout the world, multiple materialistic things, cars, yachts, boats, what have you. Nothing is inherently different between that person, those people, and the person or people who maybe can't afford to buy a car, or having struggles, or what we prefer, what we presume, what we perceive as struggles, creating enough income to pay the rent. So you see these two different extremes, if you will. We all live within the same universe. We are all part of the same universe. How you perceive yourself is what has attracted this video to you. What you believe about yourself had you go and click on and turn on this video. Whatever it is that you believe about yourself appears in front of you. The people who are in your life, the opportunities or lack thereof, the circumstances that present themselves to you. How this came about, to a large part, was from that moment in third trimester of your mom's pregnancy is when your brain turned on. And at that point, whatever was transpiring in mom's life, what she called reality, based off of what we've essentially just established here foundationally, which is the belief that mom had about herself at this time in her life, her sense of wealth, or sense of worth, what she believed she was worthy of, whatever was taking place, how she perceived through her sight, her smell, her taste, her touch, her hearing. All of this information was going into her brain and creating thoughts based off of her belief. Created thoughts. The thoughts, then her brain created complementary chemical reactions that went through her bloodstream and down to you. It's why the Jesuit faith has been telling its followers for more than 500 years, give me a child from age 0, birth, to age 7, and I will give you the man or the woman. Now, how is it that the Jesuit faith can create or take this leap from age 7 to adulthood? It's because within those first 7 years, they are the formative years of our lives. I would like for you to think of an hourglass. Put it on the table, and you'll see the top part of the hourglass is clear, it's empty. The bottom is where the sand is at. The top portion is who you and I are, who we truly are, that light. If you turn it over and the sand starts going from the top part now of the hourglass where the sand is, through the neck and then down to the bottom, to start to collect at the bottom, I would like for you to think of that as what mom thought of herself, what mom's life was like at that time when the third trimester, your brain turned on. And those grains of sand is the messaging that was sent to you, your brain, as it turned on. And I would like for you to think now of the hourglass as we first established it, meaning the sand had been collected at the bottom. And let's say that is the accumulation of 7 years of your life. That is the basis, that is the foundation. But just for a second, go back to the sand is going through from the top to the bottom, it's collecting at the bottom. The first 2 years of your life, your brain, my brain, everybody's brain was in what's called delta brainwave state, very, very slow. Why infants sleep the majority of the time, because the brainwaves are extremely slow. And to around age like 2 or 3, then the brain goes into what's called theta brainwave state. Now, I would like for you to think of theta as I would like you to think about a hypnotist. A hypnotist then takes its patient or whoever you want to call it, and it starts to speak to that person, but it speaks to them in the theta brainwave state. So it takes them from um, beta and gamma and brings it to theta. It's because they're most susceptible in this state. From age 2 or 3 to about age 4 or 5, we go into what's called alpha brainwave state. Alpha brainwave state is around, it's like a slow conscious. Think of that as you're sitting on a couch and you're watching TV or you're on your phone, whatever it may be, and you're conscious, but you're just sort of dozing. That's alpha. And then from age 4 to age 7, from 4 to age 7, you go into beta brainwave state, and then from age 7 on. So those first 7 years, when we are most susceptible, we are just observing the sand going through the hourglass that's collecting at the bottom. Everything at the bottom is a collection of everything that we observed for those first 7 years. What were the conversations in the house like? How did mom and dad interact? What was the larger family structure like? Brothers, sisters, grandparents? Understand that who you are, that sand in the hourglass, with the hourglass just sitting on the table, everything there is a culmination or collection of generations of what life was like for the people who you observed growing up, who your parents observed growing up, who your great grandparents and great great grandparents observed and were around for those first 7 years. See, because what I'm establishing here is that the sand in the hourglass, that bottom part, is your subconscious brain. You're not conscious. I was not. Nobody was ever conscious of anything going on. So just like I mentioned, the hypnotist, he or she speaks to the object. He speaks to their theta in the theta brainwave state. It's why when they say to them, when I get to 10 or whatever they do, claps their hands, snap their fingers, whatever, you are now going to act like, and the person does. Because the person is operating from the subconscious. They're not conscious of what they're doing. It's just like if I were to ask you right now to think of someone you know, a colleague, a friend, whoever it may be, you know them, but you also know their parents. Now, who are they more like? And every time I ask this question, be it my coaching clients or whoever it may be, they say, oh, yeah, I know exactly. Oh, my friend, this guy, that girl, they are just like. And I say, okay, now, if you were to tell them, or if you have told them, most likely that person will not say, yeah, you know what, you're right. I know, I'm just like. Most of them react, not respond, because they can't see it. You can see it, others can see it, they can't. It's because they're operating based off of their subconscious programming. 95% of our day, decisions we make, reactions we have versus response, is all based off of what I established, that the hourglass, the sand in the hourglass. That makes up 95% of our decisions. We have anywhere from 50 to 65,000 thoughts per day. And only 5% of those thoughts are actually conscious thoughts. Everything else is based off of our subconscious programming. So let me take us back now to the beginning of this video. We have people who own multiple homes, multiple cars, lots of material things, business, whatever it may be. And over here, we have a person who is barely being able to make the rent payment. This is why. It's because how this person was raised, who they were around, what they observed, what the conversations were in their life growing up around money, around relationships, around what we call success. The belief structure that was established. The majority of the time, what you'll find from those people is, generationally speaking, there have been people who have been very successful, what we refer to successful, lots of material things, success in business and what have you, that preceded this person's birth. The same will be held true over here, in that this person, generationally speaking, there's the lack of positive conversations around relationships, around money, around what we call success. Oftentimes, and I will submit, the majority of the world comes from here. And from here, those first 7 years, there's a lot of stress, maybe substance abuse. Not saying this a very, very small percentage of the world operates in that area where there's an awareness about how we treat ourselves. Not saying the person who has a lot of money or those people who have a lot of money, there's also a lot of problems, if you will, there too. But at its core, at the foundation, there are conversations around and a certain mindset around money, relationships, careers, self-worth. Self-worth here versus self-worth here. Here, lots of stress. And with stress, you need muscles. You need fists. You need to fight. You need to grind. You need to struggle. These are the conversations here, and for the majority of the world, around how you become successful. In closing, I would submit to you, true success does not require any work, any struggle, any grinding, none of it. Because the true success is you doing what it is you want to do with whomever you want to do it with at any time you are here alive on this earth. Following that, the light that I referred to in the beginning of the video, follow the light that's within you. Follow that. You see, because over here, and even over here so much, but over here, that is obscured, that we're told to turn away from that. We are told to not, there's no conversations about looking inward, about following the bliss, following what's inside of you, following what stirs inside of you and says, I have excitement around. We're led to believe, we're foundationally and fundamentally conditioned, we just established the first 7 years of our life, conditioned to believe true success is by grinding, is by struggling, is by hustling, is by selling people. It's by filling whatever else it may be. I'm not saying you can't do that. I mean, not, following, working hard, working, not hard, but following your bliss, but do it where when you're doing it just feels right. And you're doing it right. You're following that when I'm paying attention to, I am focused on whatever it may be, and 20 minutes goes by, at least I perceive it to be, and I look at the clock and it's been 3 hours, and you think it's only been 20 minutes. That's when you're following your true happiness, your true bliss. That's who you are. But it requires you, me, to be true to that, to surrender to that. Some of the hardest work, if you will call it, in the absolute world, the absolute hardest you'll ever achieve or you'll ever take on, is being true to who you want, what kind of life you want to live in this now moment, who you are in this now moment. Because there is no such thing as tomorrow or yesterday. There's only right now. And who you truly are right now, who you say you are, whatever excites you, if it is what I talked about, having multiple homes, multiple cars, the ability to travel anywhere in the world at any time you want with whomever you want, if that's what truly excites you, writing a book, having it be published, writing a song, having it just whatever, writing a song, performing it. If it's truly who you are and what excites you, it's not about how many people look at your video, purchase your song, your song, your album, if they even call them albums anymore, purchase your book. They will do it. Your album, your song will touch somebody. Your book, someone will pick it up and read it and say, I can't put it down. I love it. When you hold true to who you are, that voice inside of you, you just do it because you love it. And that's all is required. There's no work involved. There's no struggle involved. There's no grinding involved. There's no hustle involved. All that is based off of what we established here. People who come from this side of the demonstration that I just laid out for you come from that point that says we have to do this. I have to go against the grain, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. You'll know people who are going against the grain, like I did for many years, when you find out that they have some sort of health problem. Because again, the thoughts that go into our brain, into our mind, the body creates complementary chemicals. And if the majority of those thoughts going into our brain are that from a stressful type of thought, what we call an environment, the body can only handle so much. That's why you hear things like, for myself, I saw on a test result, malignancy. One of my best friends, heart disease. His sister, brain aneurysm. A healthy person does not get a brain aneurysm or a heart condition or a cancer diagnosis. We do it to ourselves. So that's the message in today's video, guys, is understand you are the light. You have this inside of you. It's who you've always been. Your choice then is to listen to the voice inside. You know what it is you would like to do. And if you don't, you could always go to my channel, click on the link that says Coach Geo, and sign up for coaching, and I'd be happy to work with you. And find that. And have the strength, have the tenacity to stick to that when the senses in the world shout otherwise. It's not about it. That is the old thinking, saying, no, we're comfortable with the way you've been living. Understanding the difference, staying true to that, and you'll watch how, again, people buy your book, they listen to your song, they purchase whatever your business is offering. Your job, you get a promotion, whatever it may be. Stay true to that. And your life, what you see, will start to appear. People will appear. Opportunities will appear all around you because you are staying true to who you are. Have a great day.